episode of the Embodying Excellence podcast. I'm your host, Carlo, and I'm here with Brenden. How are you today, Brenden?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. What about yourself?
Oh, man, I am stellar, I must say. It's been a big week for me, both at work, both in my personal journey, and just getting back into a swing of things with training, with powerlifting competition coming up, with both for yourself and myself.
Yeah.
And dude, there's a lot that's happening, so I'm very, very excited. And what about you? What's going on in the world of Brenden?
I'm just getting ready for that comp, really, and putting all my effort into that and getting everything down pat by sleep, nutrition, training, obviously. Getting personal life is getting better by the day, and
There's a big intent behind that, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's what today's episode is about.
There we go. All right. So, intent. What's your definition of intent?
It's just the your thought process about putting all your effort in, basically, and or lack of effort or effort.
I think intent for me is having a purpose and having purpose to do something and not to do something, because a lot of the time, sometimes we intend to self-sabotage ourselves. That's more of a subconscious intent. Whereas more of a conscious intent is to be considerate, to do something perhaps for others, or maybe do something for yourself, like a little bit of self-care, or maybe something that is a little self-serving. And a lot of the time, our intent as gens who embody excellence is to be the best possible version of ourselves. And so there's a purpose behind that as well. That purpose being that we only get to live this wonderful life once, and we want to be able to maximize what that looks like. And so being able to recognize that this is all we've got, being able to drive that purpose forward of being the best allows for us to do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that purpose, like you touched on there. That's the main thing, I think, with the intent. If you've got that purpose behind you, that intent is just a result of all that happening, and you're more likely to push further because of that.
Oh, for sure. And for me, I would say that for a long time that my intent and my purpose was survival. Like, I would cope with different things happening in my life by eating, by just scrolling on social media, by using other means to feel better, to escape. And my intent was that I didn't really want to face any of the pain that I was facing internally. So I decided to use external means. And so by having that intention of just masquerading that I was okay and that masking pain was the idea, that then allowed me to put myself in a place where I did for a little while feel comfortable. What I later realized was that it was always going to be there. And so if I change course now, which I currently am, of creating the intent to actually face my pain and acknowledging my pain and being able to then alchemize it into something positive, whether that means helping different people with their fitness, or it means helping my family do different errands, or whatever it means, like changing that intent from surviving to thriving and just replaying that constantly in my mind allows for me to then drive further with purpose, because then that purpose isn't anymore self-sabotage. That purpose is then self-service and the service of others. And so being able to recognize that about myself has allowed me to even just talk about it now, because being able to totally recognize it and go, hey, you know what, I'm at fault for this, and then create the intent to do something different, and then actually doing that said different thing, that builds massive confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've got that intent and purpose behind you, good luck trying to stop you from doing what you want to do, because it's so powerful that that's the only option. Zero options mentality there. If you've got the intent to do something and you've got the actions behind you to back it up, shut the gates.
And what I want to touch on as well is how to set intentions, and not just any intentions. Intentions that mean something to you, because everyone has a different opinion and a perspective on the way that things should be. And whatever that looks like, there isn't any judgment, it's just observation. And so when you set an intention, it's got to align with what you think that your life currently looks like, as well as what your life would like to look like what you would like to look like.
Yeah.
And so that then you can match the current energy that you have, and also at the same time then amplify the energy you need to live that next level life. Because when you move up to that next level, like we both know, like, you're not going to be the same person. And so to think that I'm going to be exactly who I am now at the same time that I'm going to be at the next level is very ignorant, because I'm going to be totally two different people. So are you with whatever your ambitions are. So are you with whatever ambitions you've got. And so being able to recognize that you need to be able to adapt and to be able to change and be fluid allows for you to then get to where you want to go. To start that off, you need to really set a powerful intention of being the absolute best that you can be, regardless of circumstances, regardless of external factors, regardless of what your feelings are saying either. Because feelings are fleeting. It's not to say that they're not important and that you don't listen to the feelings, but at the same time, it's like a boardroom. And so your feelings are a member of the board. The circumstances are a member of the board. The external factors are a member of the board, right? Like, you're going to have all different types of board members, and they all need to be able to agree to at least some degree that this is what you need to do in order to elevate yourself, so that then you're getting to where you're going and you're not staying stuck because either the external factors are too much, or what someone else says matters more than how you feel, or what you feel is overwhelming towards taking that next step. And so I've been stuck there. Like, I've had this board of directors in my brain who would never settle on anything. And so they're constantly arguing, they're constantly bickering, and I'm just letting my head talk. Meanwhile, my body is just, well, what do we do? And so setting the intention of having harmony within yourself and doing the actual work required, whether that's therapy, whether that's training, whether that's actually going out and seeking out an extraordinary life, whatever that looks like, setting that intent of creating harmony in your mind, and also setting the intention of doing everything in your power to take the next steps to lead to wherever your life decides that it's going to take you, then you're going to make a massive difference. Where if you go, oh, I set the intentions, I wrote down the goals, I have the vision board, I do the 10 steps, and nothing changes, it's not because you didn't do the work, it's that your intention in the first place was to try and bypass the actual inner work that's needed, and you just did everything on the board to an X degree, and you didn't go all in. It's like 75 hard, right? Where if you're doing 75 hard and you're half-assing it, then you're not going to get the results like someone who goes all in balls deep, because they set the intention in the first place is that there's no compromise, there's zero options. And so the only option is to do the thing. And so if you set that harmonious pact in your mind and have everyone all on board about what you're doing, it becomes so much easier. Like, I read the other day that you aren't lazy, it's just because your identity is not in alignment with where you'd like to go. And that hit me like a truck, because I was going, yeah, right, okay, so who you think you are right now isn't the person, or isn't aligned with the actions of the person that you think that you should be. And so by setting the intention of going, hey, I've got work to do and this is the work that needs to be done, changes happen, and they happen quite quickly. Like, I've had I had glimmers of that experience during the last, I would say, what are we, 2025? So I started my personal development journey around 2018. So 7 years ago. So in the last 7 years, I've had glimmers of what that looks like when I've gone balls to the wall, all in. I was in a good flow, but then that glimmer would then just turn into maybe a few months where I was just down in the dumps. And so learning how this all works has shown me that by having a powerful and intentional purpose behind what you do and what you decide to do, that will then shift your ability to make better decisions. It'll shift your ability to take action faster. It'll shift your results by a millionfold. And so, like I said, I've seen it happen. Like I did 75 hard. I've done 75 hard where the first time I didn't really go balls to wall and it showed. The second time I really went balls to wall and it showed. Like the results were phenomenal. And I've done bodybuilding preps like pre-COVID. Like that was the hardest thing that I had to go through at that time. And so, and I had a great physique, and it took a lot of intentional willpower and it took a lot of intentional discipline, but I was also in alignment with where I wanted to go at that time. And so those are the things that mattered the most. And so it's just important to make sure that you get some context on what intent looks like. And so to summarize that tangent that I just went on, being able to be intentional with your direction that you decide to take will allow you to make shifts in your life. Where if you aren't intentional and you're just making the decisions on the fly, then it won't have the same effect. That's just it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone into plenty of days with the intent to absolutely kill it because I know I've got something on at night. For example, like I think it was last year, it was a finals game that I had bought tickets to. I think Penrith were playing the Roosters or someone, right? And I was on phase 1 at the time, which is the first leg after 75 hard. I was on that at the time, and so I went into the day with the intent of making sure everything was done, right? So, I think from memory, I did my reading in the morning. I did everything that I could around things to make sure it worked. I went straight from work to the gym, got my session done, raced home, had my 5-minute cold shower, went to the footy after that, and just made it in time, seated down before the first whistle, the start of the game. When you have that intent behind you've nothing sort of can get in your way. You've got that purpose behind you, and that goes with everything, like you said. Not just in that 75 hard or phase 1 application, but if you go the intent with the day of being such and such done, you're going to get it done because you've got a structure there to do that. Whereas if you've got no purpose behind you, then you're less likely to get it done because you don't have that there.
You've got to be able to follow something. Because you've got to be able, I heard this quote a while ago, and to be able to lead, you need to be able to serve. And so this includes yourself. And so to be able to lead yourself, you've got to be able to serve yourself. And so when you're serving yourself, that means that you're going to provide a positive way of life for yourself. And so if you think that binging on junk food is serving yourself because you feel good maybe 5-10 minutes after you eat it, I think you are mistaken. I know that because I've made those mistakes plenty of times in my life, and to some degree I still do. And it's something that I actively work on because my relationship with food was piss poor. And so understanding that being able to serve yourself means making hard choices when sometimes the easy choice is the one that you want, but it's not necessarily the one you need. And so being able to make choices that serve you, and when you continue servicing yourself to the degree that you become an excellent service provider, then you have the ability to lead. You have then the ability to go, hey, you know what? I can make decisions on behalf of others. And so this means in a leadership context that you're going to piss some people off, and you're going to also then make people happy as well. But if you see that someone who is a leader of position or of status but isn't a leader of action, then you resent that person massively, because you feel as though that they don't deserve to be there, because despite them being the leader or the manager, whatever you want to call them, they have no intent of leading. They have no intent of managing either. They just have the intent of being able to have power over someone else. And that also includes you. And so if you're that kind of person who just wants that feeling of power because for whatever reason, when you were growing up or in your early adult life, you felt powerless and you made a promise to yourself and you said, this will never happen again, you do everything in your power to continue either working or making money or sleeping with women or doing whatever it is that you do so that you feel powerful. That's not serving yourself. That's serving your ego, and that's going, hey, look, I'm not willing to do any inner work, and because of such, I am now in the position that I'm in. You had no intent of making yourself better. You just had the intent of making sure that whoever is around you doesn't get close enough to you to see exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Again, I speak from experience because I have been there, and I've been there with my relationship with food, with my relationship to money, with my relationship to women. And I understand this because it is part of my life that has affected me the most. And so I had no intent. All I had the intent of was surviving. So I just did whatever I could to just survive that next moment, to survive that next day, whatever the cost may have been. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because what later happens is then you get older, and a lot of the time when you catch the wrong train, the longer you take to get off that train, the more expensive it is going to be on the way home. And so when you make powerful intentions and you stick to them, then that's guaranteeing a ticket on the right train. Where if you make no intentions at all, then the likelihood, I'm not saying that you are going to get on the wrong train, but the likelihood of you catching the wrong train is a lot higher than absolutely. If you don't set intentions and you stick by them either.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have that, like you said before, with the intent of serving your ego. A lot of time, like if you're not fully happy with yourself, you can project onto others and basically to try and make yourself feel a bit better, but it's not doing any of that. Rather than just working on yourself and having positive intent and doing the right things by yourself and for others, you're just using that as an outlet to basically make yourself feel better at the time.
I know. There have been plenty of times where I've just said shit or done shit so that I could feel better at the time.
Yeah.
When in reality, it didn't make me feel better at all. Like long term.
It may seem at the time, but you got something. You as you develop as a person, you sort of realise, oh look, I've projected my own feelings on this for nothing really, and it's because of something I did yesterday I wasn't completely happy with myself with, and as a result of that I've treated someone in this certain way, and that's not fair on them, and that's not fair on yourself either, because it's digging the hole deeper.
Well, I believe as well, like you said, that you're digging that deep trench, and the hole that you continue digging will then take you longer to get out of. And so when you're there and you find yourself digging yourself into a hole, well, the first thing to do is to quit digging. And so then when you do continue digging, you're not really going to strike much except for a deeper hole that you're in. And so for me, what I found is that being able to understand where exactly that you are without judgment and with compassion. And I've been going to therapy now for probably the last 3 months. And that's really what it's taught me, that I am hypercritical, and a lot of the time it's of myself. And by learning to be more compassionate and creating that intent of being less judgmental and critical of myself and being more compassionate and realizing we're just human beings, and anytime now that someone gives me a spiel of things that happen in their life and things like that, my first thing I say is welcome to the human experience, pal. And that's myself as well. Like, I'll be writing and journaling and doing all these things, projecting and interpreting and just making a constant analysis. And I just stop myself and I just go, yeah, you know what? This is a part of your experience, pal. Like, this is how it's happening. And so you need to be paying attention, or otherwise it's just going to continue happening. And you're just going to call it fate. Oh, it was destined that it was going to happen this way. I had no control over it. Bullshit.
Yeah, it's just a bullshit excuse.
Of course I had control of it. Like, if I can be aware of it and I can acknowledge it, then I have some form of control over it. And therefore, I can make changes. If I don't make any changes, but I know these things, I am now making a choice. And I'm making a more comfortable choice because I have the intention of being comfortable. And I have the intention of not developing myself. And that's not what we do here. We here develop ourselves. We help develop our viewers as well. And so I am at a place where I was making really comfortable choices. And now a lot of the choices I'm making are uncomfortable. And the thing is, even having this discussion is a little bit uncomfortable for me because I don't usually say a lot. And so now being able to open myself up to the world, I understand that when I open myself up, the world opens up to me. And it's the law of reciprocation. And so if your intent is to be closed off, but you pretend to be open, then you get nothing, because the universe knows what's in your heart. And if your heart says that I'm going to close myself off, and you then go out and tell everybody else that you're open, the universe knows better than you. And the Lord upstairs knows better than you. And you will get nothing. Where if you are genuinely open and you are genuinely concerned about people around you, and you are genuinely concerned about the progress and well-being of yourself, then the universe will show you that you are intentional with those things, and they will provide you with solutions, they'll provide you with guidance, they'll provide you even sometimes with the things that you actually want, because you're open to them. Where if you're not and you pretend, then you get nothing. And so again, I say this from experience because I spent a lot of time pretending. And so it's one to go, oh yeah, you know what, I intend to do this and I intend to do that and I want to do all these things, and then it's another thing doing them. And so by going, hey, my time and energy is valuable, who I am is valuable, so if I say things, those things matter. So what that also means is that when I say that I'm going to do something, then that thing that I do matters because I said that it was going to be done, and that matters. When you start treating your life like it matters, it will matter. If you treat your life like it doesn't matter, nothing will ever matter. And so by having the intention of making things matter, and making the appropriate things matter, we can't make everything matter, but making the appropriate things matter, like self-development, like improving our finances, like improving our relationships, like improving our experiences, those are the things that will improve. If we have no intent of improving those things will never
they're
improve.
not going to improve if you have no intent behind
And that's
whatever you're doing.
And that's right. And so a lot of the time, because we have a lot of pain and life conditions us where we do have painful experiences and we tend to withdraw because it's easy, then by continuing to withdraw and close ourselves off, we'll never get those improvements because we never open ourselves up to learn. We don't finish learning at school. It's not the way the world works. We learn at school so that then we can learn out there. But we treat school like a preparatory life, and then we treat life as life. Where life is, to me, life is always prep. Like, you're preparing yourself for the next day, the next meeting, the next workout, the next encounter with someone who you may not like. Maybe someone it is that you love. You are in constant preparation. Maybe if you actually had some intent behind your preparation, then you would have better outcomes for said preparations. Where if you just treat your life as an everyday existence, that's all it'll be. And if you want that, good for you. We're not the show for you, right? And so if you want an everyday, ordinary experience, fantastic. That works for a lot of people. It's worked for me. It's worked for you. Like, we've lived everyday, ordinary experiences and we haven't batted an eyelid. It wasn't until we had our moment of realization where we've gone, hey, we actually want more than what this everyday, ordinary experience is giving us. And so we've decided to challenge ourselves. We decided to take those steps ahead, whether it's doing extra at work, whether it's doing extra for somebody else, whether it's making ourselves better. We had that intent of doing more, of more, of more. Sometimes that just leads us into a hamster wheel, but at the same time, when we know that we're running the hamster wheel and when it's time to get off and take a nap, we go and do that. And then when we go and run the engine again, we run the engine. Where people, I've found, including myself, have gone, hey, I wish I was at the beach, but I'm at work. And then when I'm at the beach, I just be thinking, shit, I should be working, right? You had no set intentions there at all. You don't even know what you're doing. Where if you set the intention of, hey, I'm going to do this and this and this and this today, you do all that. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go to the beach because it's a beautiful day, right? And you have the intention of going to the beach. You have enjoy yourself. You've done all your work. You can spend the time with your family. You can do all these different spontaneous things because you set the intention. That's what really intention is about. It's being able to prepare yourself for the activity that needs to be done, or it helps you prepare mentally for the ability to navigate change or to navigate circumstances, so that then what drives you isn't emotion, what drives you isn't feeling, it's intention. It's purpose. It pulls you back so that it allows for you to reflect on what you need to do, and then it helps you push forward so that then anything that does arise that may be a roadblock or a hindrance, then it won't be so bad, because that purpose allows you to propel through brick walls. It allows you to elevate into something better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that a lot with training as well. Like, if you go into the day just with the intent of getting it done, for example, you're just doing an arm session, I'm just here just to get a session done out of my belt. If you're just there for that purpose, you're not going to get the most out of it, compared to, say, a leg session, for example. On the Friday I did leg session, I went with the intent of absolutely killing it and putting in 100% effort and not leaving any sort of anything undone, right? Anything freaking anything out of the ordinary there. So with that intent behind me, it helped me push through them little struggles you have during the session if you don't sort of feel like mentally doing all the reps that you need to, doing all those sort of things. That intent matters so much to be able to get the most out of what you set out yourself to do.
You've got to be able to understand that setting an intention isn't some esoterical, magical, oh my god, I have to write my goals down. thing. It's waking up and going, today's another day. This is what I'm doing. This is when it's being done. This is how I'm going to do it. And getting it done.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it is. Like,
Yeah.
we went and had a really thorough conversation over the last few minutes about how intention matters. But when you really break it down, that's what intention is. It's getting up and going, okay, today is Sunday, it's meal prep day, it's church day, we're going to have a workout, we're going to spend time with family, and this is what I need to prepare, this is how I'm going to prepare it. You prepare it, the work's done, and then you being present with whatever activity that you're doing. And so, because most of us live life on autopilot, we don't really experience that presence. Today, I'll give you a phenomenal example. So, when I travel here, I travel by train, and most of the time, I'm listening to music, or I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm scrolling through Instagram, right? I'm on my distraction device, right? And so today I decided, no, you know what? I'm not going to go on it. I have the intention of not going on it, and I have the intention of being more present, and that's what I'm going to do. So then I came here, and I was sitting outside just by the library before we started this, and a lot of memories came flooding back. And the reason they came back was because I didn't really have the intent of acknowledging them. And so my body was like, well, okay, if you're not going to acknowledge them, I am. And because I wasn't using my distraction device either, and I wasn't filling myself up with food, or I wasn't flicking through social media, well, the body and mind were just like, well, I have nothing better to do. So let's flick back all the bad memories now. And so they all popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, all right, this is the way that happened. Oh, okay, I acknowledge this. And because of the therapy that I've had, and I've had the intent now for the last 3 months to be more compassionate with myself, and I was really compassionate, and I was like, hey, you know, I've been feeling this lately. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Why? And then I just go back and forth with my brain, and then I write it down on my computer so that it's just completely out of my head.
Yeah.
But by following that intention today of being more present, of not being on my phone, and making sure that I get here on time today, that's intention. That's as simple as it has to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this massive $1 million a year.
No, absolutely not.
Intention. Making $1 million a year is fantastic, and we're on our way there. Like it's happening, but at the same time, like that's not all it is. Intention can be just as small as getting up in the morning with a smile on your face and not feeling like shit.
Yeah.
Right? But it can also just be as huge as creating world peace, right? And so it doesn't discriminate. Like intention isn't reserved for those that do personal development. It isn't reserved for the rich. It isn't reserved for those who feel as though that they have a purpose in their life, and just the average Joe is just such in a rush and is so behind his bills or so behind his life or her life that they don't have time to sit down and set intentions.
Yeah.
Like, no, like it doesn't require you to sit down for 3 hours and set these magical intentions. Like, that's a good thing, don't get me wrong. Like, sitting for 3 hours and setting some intentions that are going to help you live out the rest of your life is fantastic. But if you're somebody who feels as though that they have so much on their heads, then take 5 minutes and just pick at it one by one, like a budget. Like if you've got 55 debts and you can't pay all 55 of them at once, well, start with the first one, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one, all the way up to the 55th one. So if you have all these intentions and you have all of these things that you'd like to do, but you know that you can't do all at once, go with the first thing. Sometimes go with the lowest hanging fruit, go with the easiest one. Oh, I can go for a 10-minute walk today. Great. I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk. You go do the walk, you feel much better about yourself because you set the intention and you follow through.
You follow through.
That's a massive confidence builder.
Yeah.
So then you've done your 10-minute walk. Oh, cool. All right, here's an opportunity for me to go to bed at 9 p.m. rather than spend the next 3 hours on TikTok. Oh, cool. All right, I'm going to go to bed instead of scrolling on TikTok. You go to bed at 9 o'clock. You fall asleep maybe at 10 because you've spent the last hour on a screen and you're still a bit worked up. But you went to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Without your phone. You fell asleep. You had a great sleep. Then that next morning you woke up with a smile on your face because you had a fantastic sleep. Oh, look, that next intention, that little one.
Yeah, that one.
You've already done it.
Yeah.
And so intention doesn't have to be ginormous. It just has to be enough so that then it aligns with where you decide to take yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it aligns in the direction that you're taking, whichever way that you decide that you take your life and what that looks like. Even for the busiest person, they have the intention of being busy because they want to be busy, whether they're ignoring something, whether they're aiming towards something, whatever. Even busy people have intentions, and their main intention is to be busy. Yeah. Even lazy people have intentions because their intention is to be lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like a lot of the time, people are lazy on purpose.
Yeah.
And
they intend not to do it.
They intend not to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? And so for you to say that, oh, I can't have any intentions, it's not true. Right? Like, you don't see a crackhead going, you know what, well, I'm not going to have any crack today. Right? Like, his intention is, hey, I need to be able to find people to get money off so I can go buy crack. Right? I mean, as revolting as an example that is, right? But it's so completely true.
Yeah.
Right? And so being able to be addicted to your success, or to be able to be addicted to your presence, or to be able to be addicted to your intentions, like that allows you to culminate some sort of substance when it comes to charting a course in whatever it is that your life's going to look like. I speak from a place of presently doing it. I'm no expert, and I'm not in a place to impose actions on other people. So when I say these things, I mean it in a sense of I'm currently working myself through this, and I'm speaking from my own experiences as well as actions, and that has allowed me to be here, like in front of you. Like, remember, we sat in the unit that I used to live in here in Penrith before I moved back to where I live now. We had the intention of starting this podcast, right? And it was all talk for about 9 months before we actually just fucking did it, right?
Exactly.
And so we've both been there where we had all these wonderful intentions of doing things, but then for whatever reason we excused ourselves and just decided, look, you know what? We're not going to do it this time around, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And those things didn't happen where we just went, hey, this is what we're doing, here's how we're going to do it, and this is how we're starting. Yep, done, great, no worries. And now we're 31 episodes in. Like, it's one of those things where you need to go and make a decision so that then that decision then snowballs into better decisions, where if you make no decision at all, then it snowballs into nothing. It just flatlines. Where if you make a shit decision, then at least it then snowballs into something better because you learn the lesson. If you don't learn the lesson, then it snowballs into worse decisions. But better to make a decision than to make no decision at all. But then the best one is to make an intentional decision, so that then that intentional decision leads to another intentional decision, and then that compounds into whatever success that you're looking for, whether it's material success, whether it's financial success, whether it's relationship success, physical success, embodying excellence success, whatever it is. By having intentional decisions, you're better able to determine and navigate the direction that your life is about to be charted. Where if you don't, well then don't expect the things to go your way the way that you think that they're going to go, right? Because life already does that for you. Like, because no conditions are perfect. Let me just clarify that, right? As
Yeah,
I'm not making
they're
any
never gonna
promises.
be.
I'm not
Yeah.
making any promises that making intentional decisions is going to chart a perfect life, right?
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that the probability, the likelihood of you resulting in better outcomes by making intentional decisions much higher. Where if you don't, much lower. So as I was saying, life already does that for you, where unexpected shit just happens, right? And then it's how you respond that matters. And so we can make less unexpected shit happen by setting intentional decisions and purposes, so that then we can chart our own way to the direction that we take.
Yeah, like you said, it's if shit happens all the time, it's what your intent is. Is your intent to get through the stuff that's happened to you, or is your intent just to lay down and do nothing? That's what it's all about as well.
I know there are some days where I'd rather lay down and do nothing, but then there are also other days where I'm like, well, fuck laying down because I've got things to do. So you just go and do and
that's
get
your
things
intent
done.
for the day. Your intent for the day is to get it done, and some days it's not. It's just to take it easy, and then oftentimes them days are the days that you sort of think, oh shit, I should have got something done today.
Yeah, and you know what? And I have those days all the time. And what I learned from therapy as well is that it happened the way it happened because that's the only way it happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. Right? And so if you had intended on getting shit done and you hadn't got the shit done, you didn't get the shit done. That's it.
Yeah.
There isn't, oh, I had to do this or I had to do that and da, 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 right? What you said that was going to happen didn't happen. That's the bottom line. That's it. And so not because Stone Cold said so, but because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And so being able to know that, acknowledge that, and set intentions in a way that ensure that you get the things done, that will help you way more than just passing through life and watching life pass by. Because if you go, well, you know what, I'm going to do nothing, then life's going to pass you by anyway and you're just going to watch. And if I were you, I wouldn't be watching, I'd be in on it, man. Get in there.
Yeah.
And have the intent of getting in there.
Yeah.
And never have the intent of getting out. Because, man, it's this one shot that you've got. And you die every minute of the day, right? Like, it's like this is it. Like this is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time, right? And so you're getting closer and closer to the end. You're not getting further away. You're getting closer. So you might as well be intentional and go, hey, you know what? Despite me getting closer, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that when I do get closer, I've got all these things and all these stories and all these experiences and all this fun and all this energy that I can leave behind to my friends or my family or my kids, because I'm intentional about the life that I live and I want to be remembered for being able to be there, to be able to do the things that I say that I'm going to do, and to be able to bring forth whatever it is that is in my mind to existence. Right? Because the biggest idea yard is the graveyard. Right? The graveyard is where a lot of really good ideas go, and that's because nobody in that graveyard decided that they were going to do what they wanted to do. And so there are some people in the graveyard who had marvelous ideas, who pushed through them and who executed them. Those are the people that are spoken about, that we talk about. But then there are plenty of others that we wouldn't even bat an eyelid, but they had these brilliant ideas, and they just didn't put them through. I don't think you want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person if you're watching this show. So set the intention, follow through on the intention, and make sure that your intention aligns with the direction in your life that you choose to go. And you know what? Also, just as a caveat as well, just know that sometimes it's going to change, and allow for it to change. And then when it does change, then set your intentions differently. So don't not set intentions, just attune them in a different way, so that then it then matches the change in direction, so that then you're not stuck in a spot where you're remembering a time longer than you actually knew it. And so, I remember when this and that, and this was so good, and dude, you're not there anymore.
Yeah.
You're here. You're not over there anymore. You're not in the past anymore. You need to be able to understand that by being present and making decisions that impact your future is more important than ruminating over past ones. And so by having consistent intentions and sound intention-driven decisions and executing on such, dude, that's going to be the most powerful thing, the most powerful tool that you'll have.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a wrap. Sums up
I
quite a
hope
bit
you,
with intention. We went with the intent of giving everyone information on intent, and that's what we've done.
that's it. That was the intent.
Yeah.
And I really hope that you got a lot of value from this episode, and that you intend to subscribe to our channel,
Yeah.
and that you intend to share this with your friends, and I hope you intend to see us on the next episode.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.